Good morning, everybody. Happy Monday. We have an amazing show for everybody today. What do we have, Krystal?
Indeed, we do. Show looks a little bit different today. We're going to explain why in just a moment. We have some big updates out of Afghanistan. We'll bring you up to speed there. What the polling says about how Americans feel about all of this, some of it going against the media narrative. We also have some of the most cringe reactions to bring you, especially from the Republican Party on Afghanistan, an update on January 6th and what exactly happened there, and some new research on masking kids in schools that I think you're definitely going to want to pay attention to. Lucas Kuntz is also going to be on to break down his experience in Afghanistan. He's a veteran of both the Iraq and Afghan wars. We had him on Rising to talk actually about China. Really super smart guy. Works with Matt Stoller on antitrust stuff, running for Senate in Missouri. So excited to talk to him. But Saagar, why don't you explain to the good people first why we are doing the show from home today?
Yeah, I got some personal news, as they say. I've got the big 19, the COVID-19 breakthrough case. I am officially one of the statistics, so that is me. So I thought I would just explain what it's like. People out there are possibly curious. So I took my test on Thursday evening. I wasn't feeling particularly well on Thursday, and I thought, I was supposed to go to a wedding, and there was all this other stuff. So I said, okay, I got to be responsible, make sure that I'm good. Test came back positive. Honestly, Krystal, I could not distinguish it from a bad cold. And I think that that's mostly what it was like. I think I'm mostly on the tail end. I still feel a little bit fatigued. To be 100% transparent, had 2 doses of Moderna, but I would say I was pretty sick. I had flu-like symptoms, a lot of congestion, had a fever for a couple of days, lots of fatigue. My taste was like 40% of what it normally was. So it wasn't like a total loss. As I texted you, I ate a bunch of habanero sauce in order to test. The side effect of that is it really clears the sinuses. So if you suspect you have the 19, I encourage you to try that little test for yourself. But that's it. I am officially one of the statistics. And I gotta say, it does have me asking some questions about overall national policy, because you and I have been discussing this around, obviously, getting vaccinated. This probably may have been much worse, given my reaction if I hadn't been vaccinated. So thank God for that. And I encourage everybody, if you're not, in order to go do so, to protect yourself. But I do think that the breakthrough case numbers might be more than they are letting on. And I think the public health authorities should probably be transparent about that.
There's probably a lot of breakthrough cases that aren't showing up at, hospitals or clinics. Like you felt well enough. You weren't worried about, having to go to the hospital. Or you tell me you never had a moment, I don't think, where you were thinking I might have to go to the hospital. So data like yours just may not be captured. I think the most important thing to say with all of this is because you were vaccinated, you had confidence when you got it that it was going to be a pain in the butt, that you were going to be feeling bad for a while, but that ultimately you were likely to be fine. So that I think is really important for people to take away. But how do you feel now? And also, do you have any speculation about where or how you contracted it?
Yeah, I have no idea. So there are 2 really only options here, which is that I know that I was negative whenever I stepped back on a plane back to the United States, because I had to get tested in order to come back to the U.S. Now, I either got it on the plane, but apparently air travel transmission is pretty low, or it's possible that I picked it up at the gym. But honestly, the more I've been doing reading, Krystal, this Delta variant is just so much more infectious at 1,000 times more than normal COVID. I've been joking that it's as infectious as they tried to make us think that original COVID was, that it could honestly just be anywhere. Could be the grocery store. It could be the immigration line. When I was at the airport, I was around, hundreds and hundreds of people. And in terms of mask efficacy and all of that, it's really up in the air whenever it comes to Delta. So I want to be clear too. This doesn't change anything about my public health commentary, and we'll get to that, I think, whenever we talk about school masking and more. I think it is important that we might have to have a little bit of a mindset shift to say, this could be an endemic disease. It could be one of those things where as long as you're vaccinated, you will not have to worry about death. I did not seek any doctor intervention, because specifically I didn't want to draw resources away from somebody else. I was like, I don't need these antibodies or ivermectin or, whatever, because like, I'm fine. I took some Tylenol. Yeah, I didn't feel too good for a couple of days, but that's life. And I think that really is kind of the mindset that we're going to have to transition to, especially when we're going into the winter, in order to avoid some of the more onerous restrictions that I fear they're going to try to justify, given some of the rising case numbers that we have across the country.
Yeah, another public health note here. There are reports of people seeking the veterinarian horse version of ivermectin. Please don't do that. Don't do that, guys. Please don't do that.
I did not ever stoop to the levels of double masking, getting in the car, going down to the stables and being like, "Can I have some ivermectin?"
Horse drugs. You're gonna be okay. Please don't do that. If you do get COVID, go to your doctor. Find out from them what course of treatment that they recommend. Get vaccinated so that if you do end up with a breakthrough case like Saagar has, that you have confidence that you're going to have a rough few days. And I would say you were fairly sick, and you're not the type. You're not a complainer. You're a push through kind of a guy. So when you said you felt really shitty, I knew it was you were going through it. And so I'm glad you're kind of on the other side of it. One other thing we should say is, just in terms of the national statistics and what we know, breakthrough cases, there is some protection from the vaccines, but that does seem to wane somewhat over time. The big thing that they definitely still protect against at a very high rate is hospitalization and especially death. Those are the things obviously we are most concerned about. So anyway, Saagar, I'm glad you're feeling a little bit better, although I know you're still a little tired, still a little run down from this whole thing.
We'll get there. I just want my taste buds back so I can eat really spicy food. But yes, programming row, please, everybody, thank you for bearing with us. It'll be a week. I fully expect to test negative within the next couple of days, and then just as a precautionary measure, and then we should be back up and running all next week. So bear with us, and thank you very much.
Yeah, and I guess that is the last thing to say. I decided to do the show also not in the studio because obviously I was around Saagar quite a bit on Thursday when he started to feel bad. So I feel totally 100% fine. I've been giving myself the home test every single day. I continue to test negative, but just out of an abundance of caution, I decided to also not be in the studio since Saagar's going to be on. It doesn't make that much of a difference anyway. So that is what you can expect for the week.
Yeah, thank you. Oh, can I just say a note on that? Those home tests, they are a lifesaver. I really encourage people to go and we should have had these months and months ago, but you can buy them at CVS. It's like $25 for 2 tests, and they're very, very accurate. I think it's like 99%. So that's something where, you can save a trip to the doctor, an expensive PCR and all of that. And you can just do it yourself. We're talking $12 a test, and it is really worth knowing if you're somebody who's suspecting. Like I said, I did it out of an abundance of caution. I had no idea, or I did not expect to get it, but I did. And it's better that we have that information. So I hope everybody goes and tries to utilize that technology because it is important.
Hey guys, thanks so much for watching.
That's right. Just as a reminder, you can become a premium subscriber today. Watch the full show completely uncut, our reactions to each other's monologues. You get to listen to it. You get to ask us questions, all that good stuff. Link is right there in the description or at breakingpoints.com.
Best of all, great way to say screw you to the mainstream media.